Hey guys, it's Maisie and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I thought I should do like a Dear 2020 video. I know a lot of people have like sort of done these videos and called them like Dear 2020, so I thought I should do one. And basically I just wanted to talk about what 2020 has brought me this, well, last year, what I've sort of been through in it, what I've learned, and just the year as a whole really. I sort of want to do this video sort of as something to look back on in like a few years time to be like, yeah, remember that was a year. I also am filming this on my new camera, so I'm trying really hard not to look at the viewfinder because the viewfinder's like on top of it, so I'm like trying to look into the lens and not the viewfinder, and it's getting a little stressed out, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've also got my ring light. I'm just very happy right now. I'm very happy. The quality of this video hopefully should be like amazing compared to my other ones because all my others are filmed on my phone, and my thumbnails hopefully should be getting better because I've downloaded some apps and paid for some things, so hopefully they'll be a bit better. And my editing should be a little bit better because I'll be doing it on my MacBook and not my phone. I'm just praying this video doesn't look shit when I upload it now I've said all that. So I suppose if you want to watch this video, I suppose you should get on to the video. Look how cute. This is my little journal for this year. I made this on the website called So Typically Me, I'm pretty sure it's called, and you basically get to design your own journal. So you can design the front cover and the back cover. You get to design what colours you want your like spiral rings, your elastic, and then you also get to decide like how you want, not gonna focus, yeah, how you want like your layouts to be. Even at the end you can choose like whether you just have like line paper, asymmetric. You can do yearly goals, which I think was a really cool thing to do. So it has a list of the months and it says goals and then like reflection underneath, which I think is quite cute and I just really like it. So I thought I'd show you that. On the front I had you're in my inappropriate thoughts, and on the back it says the future is yours to create. I just love them. I think they look really cute and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm writing like literally everything in there to keep up with my goals, my ambitions, to keep me motivated, and so I know what I'm trying to do to build my little empire that I want to create. I have wrote a list down of like things I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm trying to keep this video short and sweet, but at the same time I sort of do want to do it in a little bit of detail just so that you understand more about me, and so when I look back at it in the future I like, yes queen, yes. I think a lot of people can vouch for this when they talk about 2020. 2020 was probably one of the worst years of my life, and I think that was mostly just because it wasn't, I don't even think it was to do with the pandemic in general. I was just genuinely at my lowest. I didn't know what I was doing, who I was, I didn't know what I wanted in life. It was just absolutely traumatizing to say the least. And I think then being put in a global pandemic where I was not able to leave my house didn't help, because I realised very quickly that I really did rely on going outside and socialising with people to distract myself from what was going on in my head. And I sort of realised that and knew it before lockdown, but I don't think I fully understood the length of it, the extent. Then I did, and it just didn't help at all. Like being in lockdown, it just made it many times worse, and there's a lot of things going on in my head and I was just in a really bad place. And obviously, as you all know, beginning of 2020 I had a boyfriend, and it was like it was one of them situations where I was like first love and all that, so I was like very attached to him. I was like, this is it. Like we all know it wasn't like, it's just what you do when it's like your first boyfriend, don't you, like first love and all that sort of stuff. So obviously when we broke up beginning of lockdown, it hit me hard, so hard, because first of all I didn't know how to deal with a breakup because I'd never been through it before, and then second of all I didn't know how to deal with it whilst being in a global pandemic and not being able to go out and see anyone and cheer myself up. Like I was literally just in my four walls sad, and I didn't know how to deal with that like at all. It was really weird, and I'm pretty sure like a lot of people have been through that, because so many people broke up in the first lockdown, and so like I know I'm not the only person that's been through it, and there is a lot of people who was in the same boat. That was a very hard thing to deal with, which made my mental health get even worse, because I was like, not only have I just lost like the one person that I confide in about everything and makes me happy and all this and everything that I love, I was also like, I can't even go out and sort of release all the feelings that I'm feeling, like by going out and like having a party, or just going for a drink, or going for a meal, or going shopping with some friends, or like going to the cinema or whatever like that. I couldn't do it. I didn't have any outlet other than just sitting in my bed listening to music. Like, in the first lockdown, it was one of them where I stayed in bed all day every day. I just listened to sad music. I'd be up until like 4 or 5 o'clock just crying my eyes out and just drinking. Like, that was it. That was my first lockdown really. Like, I tried to get out of it, but it just didn't really work. But that's that. Then even when we came out of lockdown, it was like I still hadn't processed it all or whatever, and I think that was genuinely was because of being in lockdown, so I couldn't process it at the time. So like I sort of processed it and healed from it like months later after it happened, which is really weird and bizarre, but I feel like given the circumstances it isn't. And even then it was just like me trying to feel like an empty void and like trying to understand what was going on in my life. And I don't know, it was just really weird time for me. But I did have some amazing people there to like help me through and stuff. So that was sort of me like beginning of the year. I started off 2020 very content, very happy, sort of knew what I was doing, but then lockdown sort of just flattened me and mashed it all up. And then I sort of realised I had a lot of issues that I needed to deal with, which I'm now dealing with, which is completely fine, which is how it should be. And so then obviously going into summer of 2020, I was like, I just want to go out, have fun, be with my friends, like, as you do. And I ended up going through a lot of different friendship groups. Like, so many, it was a little bit crazy. But I ended up finding my group, who I'm with now, and I love them so much. Because honestly, the group that we have formed mostly because of lockdown. Like, we're like people who've all sort of found each other like just by hanging out in the fields and in the parks around town and stuff, who are all in the same boat, who have sort of had mutual friends, and we're all sort of feeling the same thing. And that's sort of how our group sort of formed, which I absolutely love. I think it's so cute. And we are all so close with each other. Like, it is crazy. Like, we all have each other's backs. Like, we would all do anything for each other. Like, we see each other all the time, we all speak constantly, and I genuinely don't know what I would have done for the rest of my year if I didn't have them. And obviously at the time I was 17, so I was still like a little baby when you think about it. I was still like a little kid. And then the group that I met, they were a lot old, well, they weren't like a lot, but they were older than me. Like, they were sort of between the ages of like 20 to like 23. So when you look at it, they are quite a little bit older than me, but we just clicked, and that was that. Like, because I'm very mature for my age and stuff, so it just clicked, like it just worked, and I just fitted in really well. And so then obviously we all became the best of friends. That was that really. And don't get me wrong, and I have been through a few boys over the past 4 or 5 months. Like, Maisie's heart has been broken. Quite traumatizing, some of them, I must admit. I've never like been like fully like boyfriend and girlfriend with them, but you know when you get like talking but it's like serious, and then it gets past the point where you're not just talking but you're sort of like together but like not official, that are more like exclusive. I've been to like that point, and yeah, none of them ended well. I was very hurt, very heartbroken over some of them, and some of them well, I say some of them, I mean quite literally one of them I'm still traumatised till this day from, and still healing from it, because I was that traumatised. Boys just aren't for me, I think, 2021, that's what I'm learning here. But what I have learned is that people really do just come and go out of your life. That is one thing I have learned in 2020. People come and go, and you can't force somebody to stay, and you can't force them to love you. Like, they'll give you what they want to give you. And I think that's a very key thing to like learn in life. Like, I read something the other week and it said, don't be sad that they're gone, be sad that they came in the first place. And I think that that is such like a true statement. Like, You should be thankful and be happy about the fact that you knew them. Okay, they're not here no more, but you should be happy that you had them in your life at one point. Like, no matter whether you left on bad terms or good terms or just drifted or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I also read another quote. When was it? I think it was about September time, and I'm looking at my notebook to remember what the exact words were, and some people give that much love that they will never receive in return, because not everybody can love to that extent. And basically I resonate with that on such like a personal level, because I give out so much love. Like, my heart is full of it. Like, everybody I know always says that I'm such an over-loving person, and I'm an over-caring person, and I'm an oversharer. Like, that is just me. Like, even if you do me wrong like 50 million times, I'll still take you back, and I'll be like, but I still love you. I just am one of the people, and that's because I just see the good in everybody, which I think when you think about it, it's a bit like, oh, but I genuinely do see the good in everyone. Like, you could be the worst person on earth and I'll be like, yeah, but there's still a bit of good in you in there somewhere. Like, even though there probably bloody isn't, I will still be able to be like, no, I can see it, I will see it. And because of that, I do think that some people were made to give the love that they were never meant to get back. Like, don't get me wrong, somebody will love you. Like, I'll give out a certain amount of love to someone, and don't get me wrong, they'll love me back, but they will never be able to match the amount that I give, because the amount that I give is like a crazy amount. And I know it's really, I find it really hard to explain, but like, if you're one of them people, like, you will know, like, you will understand that you give out and give off more love than you will ever receive in your lifetime. And I do genuinely believe that it's because you are a chosen one by God. Like, God looked at you and he was like, babe, you're an angel. Like, I'm going to make sure that you're one of the people who teaches everybody love. Like, you're going to give them so much love. But unfortunately, because of that, you're never going to get that extensive amount in return. But it will be returned, but just not in the same extreme category. And I'm like genuinely okay with that. Like, I have come to terms, I'm okay with that. One thing I have also learned massively in 2020 is that communication is key. Without communication, you've got nothing. You really do have nothing. Things will get twisted, things will get manipulated, things will be misunderstood, and if you communicate with somebody, then problems can be solved like that. Otherwise, they'll just go on to be a bigger issue that wasn't even an issue in the first place, and then you'll fall out, and then there'll be an argument, then people will say things that they didn't mean, and then that's what will stick. And that's just not what we want. That's not the negativity and toxicity that we need in 2021. So if you have an issue with someone, just go up to them and be like, look, I didn't like how you did this, I don't like how you said that, can you not do this, I don't like it, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And they'll be like, okay, cool. They'll listen to you, they'll hear you out your reason, and they won't do it. And if you like someone, or if you love someone, it'll be like, just be like, look, gee, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really like you, I love you, like, all this and everything. Like, just communicate with them, because people will sit there and they will overthink everything to the point where they make up scenarios in their head and believe what's in their head when it's not even true. But if you communicate with them every step of the way and let them know how you feel and what you're thinking, then there's going to be absolutely no like miscommunication. You're both going to understand each other completely, and that way things will work. I also wanted to address in this video the fact that I dropped out of sixth form. 2020, I dropped out of sixth form. It was a very big decision for me. Originally, I never really wanted to go to sixth form anyway. I always just wanted to go to either college or do an apprenticeship, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I knew it was going to do like with social media and influencing, but I was like, I don't really know if I want to do an apprenticeship right now just yet, because I hate change, and it would have been a lot for me as to what happened like when I was in year 11. I was still healing and going through a lot of stuff that happened that year, so I just sort of wasn't ready to take that one step further and do an apprenticeship. So I stayed at Droitwich sixth form, and the first 4 months of being in year 12 was probably one of the most hardest 4 months of my life. I hated every second of it. I used to skip school, I used to sit in the toilets, I used to cry my eyes out, like I was so depressed and anxious, like I hated it. Then I got with my boyfriend who was in the year above me, and so obviously he was still there, and obviously I spent all of my days then with him when I was at sixth form. And so when we went into lockdown in March, I was just doing online lessons, but even then I was like not interested at all in doing them. I hated it, actually hated it. So I lived my life in summer, then went back in September, but I was so scared to go back in September, like it was an actual joke, because I did not know what to do. I did not know how to cope in that situation, in that environment, by myself. And it was a really big issue for me. Like, I just didn't know how to communicate with people my own age, because the entirety of summer I'd been with people who were older than me, and even when I was with my ex, he was older than me, and so I was hanging out with his friends, and some of his friends were older than him. So I genuinely went back and I was like, I don't know how to talk to somebody in my age. Like, it was really weird. And so then again, I just went to the toilet and spent my lunch breaks in the toilet crying, depressed, anxious, anything. And I used to just walk out of sixth form. I used to just skip, and I don't recommend it if you want good grades and stuff like that, or if you've got like a career choice that you want to do, like a lawyer or doctor and stuff like that. I don't recommend it at all. Like, get your grades, stay in school, do what you need to do. But because I didn't want to do anything like that, I was like, what's the point in me being here? I was like, it's making me anxious, depressed, miserable. Like, my anxiety's through the roof, having to walk in every day. Why am I coming here? Like, why am I doing this to myself? And so I made the executive decision to drop out. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the school dealt with it correctly at all, because they didn't. The school failed me. But I just had to do what I had to do. And I was only taking 2 BTECs. And then and I was doing a business A level, but they wanted me to sit an AS paper, which is half an A level and takes it down to sort of like a business. So I was like, no, I'm not going to sit here and waste my time on stuff that I'm not happy doing. So I left and I got a job, and now I'm making money. And honestly, the past month has been probably one of the best months of 2020 for me, because I've been going to work, I've had motivation because I'm getting paid for it, and I'm doing a job that I love, and I'm able to then spend that money on myself and be like, I want to go out for meals and I can afford it, I'm going to go do it. I can go buy some new clothes, so I can afford it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to the pub with my mates because I can afford it and I can do it. Like, I can go on holiday because I can afford it and I can do it. Like, it's such a change in mindset and such a change in lifestyle. But I'm really glad I did it. And don't get me wrong, I know exams have been cancelled because of the new lockdown and stuff, but I've not sat there and gone, oh, damn it, wish I stuck it out for another month because I'd get 3 grades. No. What was I going to do with them grades? Because I wasn't going to university. No. Like, I thought about it long and hard, but I've never wanted to go, and I just didn't want to go. I just don't want to go to uni. Them grades would have been quite pointless to me in the end. And what would I have done? Gone and got a job the exact same way that I've done it now? Like, I'd have been wasting like another few months of my life being sad and miserable and ending up in a worse place than I even was when I left. All for what? To be where I am now? Like, about 7 months later, but just with a worse mentality. No, thank you. The one thing that I have learned is just do whatever makes you happy. Forget about other people's opinions. Forget about them society norms. And just go live your life. Like, you are capable of doing whatever you want. You're capable of building your own empire. You can earn your own money, get your own empire. Go get that dream summer body that you want. Go buy that outfit that you want. Go eat that pizza that you want. Go do whatever you want. Like, nobody gives a shit. And that is the pure truth of it. And if they're going to sit there and judge you, then they've got issues themselves that they need to sort out. And that is one thing that I have learned. People are jealous. And the reason they're jealous is because they're insecure about themselves. And that's why they hate on you. But as people do say, haters are your true fans. And I will stick by that. 2020's been a bit of a roller coaster for me. January 2021 is it's just something really, isn't it, this month? Mentally I'm in a better state. I've got a long way to go, don't even get me wrong on that. 2020 was a roller coaster, but 2021 is bringing new leaves of life, and you know, I'm moving on to my next chapter. I do hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can smash the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got so much cool content coming this year that I've planned out, and obviously my main focus, as you'll know, this year is this channel and building our little family. So it would really mean a lot to me if you subscribed. And you can follow all my social media, which will be on screen at the end, which I'm posting on daily because we're in lockdown and I've got nothing much else to do. And I will see you guys in another video.